Hi guys, and welcome to another Dragonheir Silence God video. Guys, in today's video we're going to jump in the ancient battlefield and we're going to try to take on one of the most difficult bosses in the entirety of this game. He is really a pain in the back. He has a weird mechanic where we can't bring champion that buff themselves, and this basically excludes most of the champion we use him for much of the other thing in the game. We need to be very careful with the timing. He has an 18-second rotation. He hits really hard. And if anything fails during the rotation, if we fail to land those debuff and taking off his debuff or blocking his buff, the run will end. And it has a damage mitigation mechanic as well at 75, 50%, and 25%. They are basically stretching the fight long. And it's really painful to be sitting there watching this runs for 3 or 4 minutes. But we need those negative runes, so we need to figure out this boss. And I was honestly struggling with it this season. I found it difficult to put together a composition that was kind of relatable for you. I wanted to make a video that I can put out using champion that you might come across, and it doesn't use a lot of, crazy comps or champions. They are almost so rare that not many of you have. And while I was doing my research, I also consume a lot of content from other YouTuber and content creator for this game, and I came across a video from Gorex. Gorex is an amazing content creator for this game. He does a lot of work on the test server. He does a lot of work on his own account as well, and he does very good in-depth guides on some of the bosses, continental challenging, etc. Sometimes even comparing up to 15 comps in the same video. They are very long and in-depth content. And if you like and you are a true hardcore player of this game and you are willing to watch long content, go check him out after you watch this video. It will be worth. Anyway, to get into the meat of this this video, I was watching this video and he was using an epic champion that I've just finished build for one of the Continental Chief bosses, and I didn't end up using her, and so I was kind of regretting building her because this game is so stingy on resources that when you build a champion that you don't end up using, it's kind of a pain. It's really taxing on our account to use that energy to build up a champion, the time needed, the resources needed, and then maybe you end up not using it. And there is no way back from that. And the game is based on a 3 months rotation. So it's not like we can build hundreds of champions just for doing some testing and then leave them in our store. We need to be very careful with the resources, especially if it's our own account. And that actually set me up for some of the comments that I've seen on many videos of other content creators, not mine specifically, because I am not in that situation yet, or I might not be in the future because I'm not spending much on this game. If you follow my channel, you know that I'm buying the Battle Pass and the pass that gives you a little bit of War Marrow and bread per day. So it's not really a lot that I'm investing in this game, but consider also that I'm a content creator, so I get something back from what I'm doing. But nevertheless, I read a lot of comments of people saying that we, as a content creator, we should not do guides on any content of this game using legendary champions or legendary artifact in particular. Now, I don't have any legendary artifact, but nevertheless, if I ever gonna get the opportunity to have one on my main account, well, I'm gonna have to invest a lot of resources in building that artifact up, and it means that I'm not gonna have resources to level a lot of other artifacts that will be needed to make free-to-play guides. And so we have to make choices, and we are trying to play our account and be competitive because there is a leaderboard and the season is only 3 months. And so we kind of need to try to do our best with our account while we are also trying to put guides out for all of you guys, and hopefully they are as relatable as possible. Now, I am in a different position because, as I said, I don't have legendary artifacts. I don't have many legendary champions. Have few, I've built them, I'm using them. I don't like to show them off a lot. I prefer to use epics and rare if I can, because I understand that you guys out there have no access to those champions. Epics and Grey are way more common. And that is what brings me to the composition for tonight. I basically took a composition that another content creator was working on, and I tried to strip it down. I took off any of the legendary artifact that I don't have, and I took off any legendary champion. And I basically put together this comp, which is basically made only of epics. And I hope that you guys are going to enjoy it. And hopefully you have all the champions, and you're going to be able to replicate this comp. It's very difficult in terms of gear as well, and it's very specific in terms of champions. This game, I don't understand why I'm struggling so much to create few champions. They are kind of similar, of different affinity. They can be used and replaced in different positions. There are certain champions, they are so peculiar and so particular, they are unique, and there is, if you don't have it, there is basically no way to replace them. So let's jump into the comp. Enough talking. Let's have a look at the composition. Let's have a look at the champions, the gear, the timing, and everything. I think I've been talking way too long for this introduction. Anyway, this is the boss. I think all of you are probably familiar with the skills. He has 5-second rotation for the first hit, 4-second rotation for the second, 5 seconds, 4 seconds for a total of 18. His ultimate is a big hit. It puts up increased defense. He's going to change stance and hits with the swords, the champions with the highest attack. It's going to build up his total damage bonus if it hits champions on the back of the line that basically has buff. And if his build is damage up, there's basically nothing you can do. On his A1, he's going to try to stand your champions farther back on the line, and if he gets resisted, he basically go in this stance where he backfire and takes 20% more damage. Now, this is the key for the comp for tonight. We are trying to exploit this situation, and we are using a champion that not many I've seen using. By the way, the art department of this game is always knocking it out the park. The animation is always so beautiful. This is the comp, guys. This is the champion we're going to use tonight. We're going to use our mighty Furbat. Furbat is gear with the incense burner because I need his ultimate to be back as soon as possible. It needs to be close to 18 seconds. It's very difficult to get it there with all the stats we need. He is in protection set. Is built with high defense and good accuracy to do this job. If he fails to land any of the decreased attack, the round will fail. There's no way back. When the boss hit with his ultimate, it's going to be a wipe. The other champion we're using over here is another epic, another legendary in disguise, if you ask me. I've kind of talked badly about this champion last season because I was struggling to find any use for him in combination with the affinity. This season, I fell in love completely with Varesh. I built him with the Crown of the Unclean. He's going to be the one with his ultimate multi-hit to place the defense penalty 1. He is built with high skill haste because I need him to be on a short rotation. It's 18.1. He needs to be as close as possible to 18 seconds. He needs to cycle back to his ability and place that block debuff and hopefully take off the debuff that the boss puts on himself if the rotation is right. I take off that increased attack on rotation 1, then can make the run fail. The other champions up is going to be Adolphus. This one is really unreplaceable. He has the heal, the shield is going to boost our turn meter. He's an amazing champion. The boost of the turn meter over here, it's not even that necessary to be honest, because all the timings are going to be 18 seconds. He's built with a tiara. The tiara gives him more enlightenment, defense, and 15% more shield. Is going to be very fundamental, and I've built him again with a lot of skill haste. I need him to be less than 18 seconds to fall back in rotation because on the first run he's going to be stunned, and so I need him to be back on his skills as quick as possible. Now, the two champions that are for me key for this runs are going to be Manda. Manda is a new champion introduced in the season. She's from the Thunderbolt affinity. And obviously you can pair it with another Thunderbolt DPS, but not many of you have it, and most of the DPS from the Thunderbolts are not that good, to be honest. She has two roles over here. She's gonna place the electrocutes on the boss and do quite a lot of damage, to be honest, even if she's not built for damage. But she's gonna help our main DPS to do damage, and she's gonna basically spawn these turrets. The turrets are gonna be spawned on the back, and this will trigger the ability from the boss to hit one of the turrets instead of Adolphus, so nobody's gonna get stunned. The boss is gonna fall in his stance where it takes more damage every single rotation, and this is gonna help our rotation to be consistent. Avoid building resistance, which is a big problem because building resistance and all the stats to stay alive on this fight are not so easy, and is gonna make this run work. She's built with some defense because unfortunately the boss hits so hard. I've built her with a Mask of the Lark, so she takes less damage, and she's built also with the Mona Lisa set to help heals when she does his ultimate. Her ultimate doesn't do damage, basically buff the turret. We don't care about that, so when she uses it, she needs a list to bring something else, and the heal is a good touch. As you can see, I'm not even building up completely the, the gear. She's just gonna do the job anyway. So this makes it even more relatable, I guess. My gear still sucks. The last champion that we bring is gonna be Nimbus. Nimbus is our main DPS, as you can guess. He is dauntless, he is not from the Thunderbolt. Nevertheless, I'm gonna have the 3 elemental affinity, which is gonna help me. And he's bringing a lot of damage. So I've built him with the Gambler set and the Wine of the Dragon artifact. The Wine of the Dragon artifact is basically gonna give him more speed, attack speed, and it's gonna give him more crit rate. And therefore I can keep his crit rate quite lower. I can build his attack, I can build his crit damage. He's gonna cycle back to the skills quite quickly. And it's gonna do a lot of damage with his ultimate with the Gambler set. Now, let's have a quick look at the timing. This is where the magic is happening. Everything needs to happen on 18 seconds. And Nimbus doesn't have a quick rotation. He's only 19.9. So I'm setting the first one and then I'll let him run when he can, basically. As soon as he has his ability up, he's going to do it. But all the rest of the champions need to be on a timing. The first one to go off is going to be Furbat and 11.8 seconds on an 18-second rotation. The second one up is going to be Adolphus. He gets stunned, so this one is not really 16 seconds, but it seems to work for me, so if I wasn't you, I will use the 16 seconds, and he's also on an 18-second rotation, so basically he's gonna put that shield up just before the boss ultimate, and this will keep the team alive and heal our champion that falls low in HP. He's built with very high enlightenment, as much as I could, so the shield is gonna be quite big and helpful. Now, the next champion up is going to be Manda. Manda is going to basically do the ability on 20 seconds. The reason is also because she basically buff, and we don't want the buff. So this is not going to basically trigger the ability of the boss to build his own damage. This is going to happen at 18 seconds rotation as well. And the last champion to use this ability is going to be Varesh on second 22, and is going to be on 18-second rotation as well. But enough talking, let's have a look at the run so you can start seeing what is happening. Let's make a run over here and let's have a look also at the damage. As you can see, the boss start pounding down that shield and make a lot of damage on us. He has stunned Adolphus. This is going to happen only on this rotation and never going to happen again. Now we removed the increased attack, luckily with Varesh, and now we are on rotation. This comp honestly look worse in the beginning of the fight that does at the end of the fight. By the end of the fight, we're going to be in a much safer position than they are in the beginning. In the beginning, it looks like we're going to fail. Everybody's quite low on HP, but then we're going to start falling and sink. The boss is going to start eating those turrets on the back. We're not going to worry too much about anything else. We start blocking the increased attack. We're removing the increased defense. The boss is in this stance where he takes more damage. he has this debuff on, you can see over here, which is backfire. And that backfire means he takes 20% more damage. That's why I placed Nimbus on that initial rotation, because I'm trying basically to get him to do his ability when the backfire and the decreased defense are most likely to be up. As you can see, the rotation now full in sync, and we are basically pretty safe. We can do the run pretty easily right now. We don't need to worry about anything else. We can just let it go. And I'm gonna speed it up a little bit for you, and I see you at the end of the run. Here we go. Here we go. We've done it in 4 minutes. The best time I had with this comp was 3 minutes 42. It's a pretty long, pretty long run. I will give you that, but it works. It works, and it's done with all epics. It's pretty safe. Quite complicated from a gear point of view. You need a lot of skill ace spread out on positive, negative runes. Gear sets, you need to get those right gear sets with the right mains and some good substats to be able to do it. But once you get there, this comp will work. You only take advantage of the 3 elemental affinity. We have basically champions from all over the affinity board, so it should work even on different season when the affinity are going to change, hopefully. So it should be safe for this guide to be relevant even in the future. And well, as you can see, guys, it's doable. It's doable even without legendary artifact. It's doable even without legendary champion. I hope that you enjoyed the content, guys, because it took me quite some time to put it together. It's not easy to find the right champions for this fight. And if you did enjoy the content, guys, please consider liking and subscribing. Leave a comment down below. Help the algorithm push this video. I'm trying to push towards the 1,000 subscribers, so any help will do. And I'll see you soon with another video about Dragonheir Silence God.